Whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, it is normal to feel lonely at times. In fact, loneliness is an emotion that many people struggle with on a regular basis. But the good news is that loneliness doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, it can be an opportunity to learn how to embrace your solitude and find peace and contentment in being alone. This video will provide tips on how to embrace solitude, build meaningful connections, and find joy in being alone. The first step in embracing solitude is to understand what loneliness is and how it can affect you. Loneliness is often described as an emotional state of isolation. It can occur when you feel disconnected from the people around you and lack social support. It can also occur when you feel disconnected from yourself and don't feel like you can express your thoughts and feelings. It is important to remember that loneliness is a normal emotion and everyone experiences it from time to time. It can be a sign that something is missing from your life and that you need to make some changes. However, it is also important to recognize that loneliness can be a sign of depression. So if you are feeling lonely for a long period of time, it is important to talk to a mental health professional. Once you understand what loneliness is, it is time to explore the benefits of embracing solitude. Being alone can be a great opportunity to focus on yourself and take a break from the stresses of everyday life. It can give you the opportunity to reconnect with yourself, reflect on your life, and gain clarity about what you want. Embracing solitude can also help you build self-confidence and self-esteem. When you are alone, you can focus on your own thoughts and feelings without the distraction of other people's opinions. This can be a great opportunity to practice self-love and self-care. Finally, being alone can be a great opportunity to explore your creativity. When you are not surrounded by other people, you can let your imagination run wild and explore new ideas without fear of being judged. You can also take the time to focus on your hobbies or interest without feeling pressure to perform. Once you understand the benefits of embracing solitude, it is time to learn how to do it. Here are a few tips to help you get started. Tip number 1, make time for yourself. Take the time to do things that you enjoy, such as reading, listening to music, or going for a walk. Tip number 2, spend time outdoors. Nature can be a great way to reconnect with yourself and find peace. Make sure to get outside and enjoy the fresh air. Tip number 3, practice self-care. Take the time to focus on yourself by taking a bath, going for a massage, or indulging in a delicious meal. Tip number 4, meditate. Meditation can help you relax and focus on the present moment. It can also help you get in touch with your inner voice and reconnect with yourself. Tip number 5, unplug. Disconnect from technology and social media for a while. This can give you the opportunity to focus on yourself and the present moment. Once you have made the time to embrace your solitude, it is important to remember to stay present in the present moment and find peace and contentment in being alone. This can be a difficult task, but it's essential for finding joy and fulfillment in your life. The key is to focus on the positive aspects of being alone. Instead of focusing on the fact that you are alone, focus on the freedom and opportunity it provides. Take the time to explore your thoughts and feelings and find joy in the present moment. Finally, it is important to remember that you are never truly alone. Even when you are physically alone, you can still connect with yourself and find peace and contentment in the present moment. While it is important to embrace your solitude, it is also important to remember that we are social creatures and need meaningful connections in our lives. Building meaningful connections is essential for our mental and emotional well-being. The key to building meaningful connections is to focus on quality rather than quantity. Find people who share your values and interests and make an effort to connect with them in meaningful ways. This could be through attending events, joining clubs, or even meeting up with friends for coffee. It is also important to remember that the connections you make don't have to be face-to-face. You can also find meaningful connections through phone calls, emails, or even social media. If you are struggling with loneliness, it is important to remember that it is a normal emotion and there are ways to cope with it. Here are a few mental health tips to help you deal with loneliness. Tip number one, reach out to others. It is important to remember that you are not alone and there are people who care about you. Reach out to friends and family for support and connection. Tip number two, make a plan. Make a plan to do something every day that brings you joy. This could be something as simple as going for a walk or watching your favorite movie. Tip number three, practice gratitude. Take the time to recognize the good things in your life and be grateful for them. This can help to shift your mindset and make you feel more positive. Tip number four, get enough sleep. Make sure to get enough sleep so that your body and mind have the energy they need to function. Tip number five, connect with nature. Nature can be a great source of comfort and peace, so make sure to get outside and connect with the natural world. Another important step in embracing your solitude is to combat any negative thoughts or self-doubt that may arise. It is important to recognize that it is normal to have negative thoughts from time to time, but it is also important to remember that these thoughts are not necessarily true. The key is to recognize when these thoughts arise and challenge them with more positive, realistic thoughts. Remind yourself that you are enough and that you are capable of achieving your goals. It can also be helpful to practice self-compassion. Instead of beating yourself up for feeling lonely, practice self-kindness and acceptance. Remind yourself that it is normal to feel lonely and it doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. Finally, it is important to remember that it is possible to find joy in solitude. Take the time to explore activities that bring you joy, such as reading a book, listening to music, or painting. You can also find joy in the simple things in life, such as watching the sunrise, cooking a delicious meal, or taking a walk in the park. Finally, it is important to remember that joy can come from within. Take the time to explore your thoughts and feelings and find joy and fulfillment in the present moment. Learning how to enjoy being alone is a process and it takes time. It is important to be patient and kind to yourself as you learn how to embrace your solitude and find joy in being alone. The key is to take it one step at a time and focus on small achievable goals. Try to focus on the positive aspects of being alone, such as the freedom and opportunity it provides. It is also important to remember that there is no single right way to enjoy being alone. Everyone experiences loneliness differently and everyone enjoys being alone in different ways. Embracing solitude can be a difficult but rewarding process. It is important to remember that loneliness is a normal emotion and everyone experiences it from time to time. It is also important to remember that being alone can be a great opportunity to focus on yourself and find joy in the present moment. The key is to make time for yourself, practice self-care, and focus on the positive aspects of being alone. It is also important to build meaningful connections and practice self-compassion when dealing with loneliness. Finally, it is important to remember that joy can be found in solitude and it is possible to learn how to enjoy being alone. If you are feeling lonely, remember that you are not alone and there are people who care about you. Take the time to reach out to friends and family for support and connection. And if you are struggling with loneliness, it is important to talk to a mental health professional. Embracing solitude is an ongoing process, but with dedication and patience, you can learn how to embrace being alone and find joy in the present moment.